All right, everybody. Let's see. Still kind of getting the feel for my streamy goodness. All right. Yep, it looks like I am live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my stream. I'm Erica, and I draw stuff. And yeah, I hope you'll keep me company while I work more on this lovely demon cat. Give me just a second to get the music going. Okay. And I'll just do... Alright, there's that one. Okay, so, yep, I am back to doing my demon cat. And I did do a little bit just kind of off camera when I left off last Tuesday. I got my paint here all set up. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So I kind of added a little bit more to the highlights. I'm going to do a little bit more with it, but I'm not going to fuss too much. And then I did add in the red that you see here in his wings. So this is just going to give him a little bit more of a pinkish cast. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. And yeah. So now I'm going to go through with this magenta again. And this is just going to layer a little bit more color and even this out. It's a nice thin wash, so it won't take too terribly long to dry. And yeah, that moon, y'all. I was actually looking at it earlier like, man, I'm really proud of that. Alright, so there is sort of the base of our demon wings. And let's see. I'm gonna go in now with my Nasal Crimson. And I'm just gonna kind of start, just once again layering and layering. This is a more transparent ink. Some are more transparent than others. So yeah, this is going to be some building, but I'm going in with, I started with magenta and now I'm going in with Nasal Crimson. And one day I'll say that without stuttering. And I'm mostly focusing a lot of the red sort of in the middle because that's going to be the part that's showing the most light. All right, there we go. I know a lot of these little colors can be kind of hard to see on the screen. It's a slow build. Now we're going to go back and we're going to mix just a little bit of the deep violet with some of that Naphthalene Crimson. There, I said it. And as soon as I find it over here it is. And that's going to go kind of more on the edges here because it's kind of, the wings are stretched out, but it's kind of in between each, I don't even know what they are, bat fingers. It kind of stretches thin, so think of it as being a little bit concave. So I'm going to be kind of giving it a little bit more shape in that. So I'm going to go ahead and mix. I'll actually mix a little bit of the violet and magenta. And yeah. And then we're just going to kind of go along the edge here just to push that back a little bit more. And yeah, it's subtle. And yeah, it's hard to tell, but I'm trying to go in the direction that it would be kind of stretching. Which should, you know, sort of inform kind of what's going on with the wings. Got that taken care of pretty quickly. Let me get a little bit of my white ink in here. I totally just loaded up on white over yesterday just because I tend to go through a lot of it. So hopefully I won't be running short anytime in the future, like I was about halfway through my last stream. So yeah, I'm adding a little bit. I'm making it into a really pale yellow. And then I'm going to add some of the Naphthalene Crimson. And that is going to give it kind of a orangey pink sort of highlight. So yeah, and actually I think I'm going to need a bigger brush. Let's see, I'll use this guy here. Mixing my colors. Mixing my colors, mixing my colors. And actually, let me move my mic. You should be able to hear me better. Okay. Okay. And now you're kind of seeing that highlight a lot better there. I just got to make sure I don't overdo it. Yeah, now it's starting to build. Yeah, sometimes you want to kind of brush it, other times you kind of want to tap it. But yeah, there's kind of the start of it. So, as always, I gotta kind of give it a second, let it dry so it doesn't run down the page. But while I'm doing that, since I have some kind of pinkish red colors mixed, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the inside of his ears here. So, try to get things kind of in phases, and, you know, while I'm waiting on one thing to dry, we got some other things sort of being filled in. There we go. So yeah, I will say that since I started streaming, it has made me a lot more efficient with what I'm doing because I don't take as many breaks, just so I'm constantly giving you guys something to at least look at. Which definitely helps and, you know, gets me on a schedule of actually churning stuff out and all that stuff. And, you know, even if I don't have a ton of people watching, it's still fun. So... go ahead and fill in some more of this. Obviously, the really thin washes like this tends to dry a lot faster than the stuff that I'm building up. So, do a little bit of purple in here just to give a little bit of shadow there. And now I'm actually going to give a little bit of highlight to the edge of the cat's ear. A little bit more white out. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit more of the color I was wanting. And yeah, this is kind of where two light sources are kind of meeting up, so... Okay. And now I'm just going to kind of go in here. Alright. Now you're getting a little bit more of the inside of the ears there. And I'm going to go back to doing a little bit of work on the wings, because I'm wanting a much more vivid color. So let me see here. Got so many brushes just kind of out. This is a good one. Okay. There we go. My red's starting to show up better. Let's see. And then I have to be a little bit careful too, because I'm kind of loading it with a lot of paint, just kind of hoping that I can get it kind of built up in less passes, but I do have to be careful of not letting, since I'm, you know, kind of set up on an incline, I don't want it to, you know, kind of all drip and just sort of run down the page, because that's not really an effect that I'm looking for in this particular instance. Maybe some other time. Okay. I'm actually going to do a light wash of kind of a little bit of this magenta over the ears, because I want it to be a deeper pink than this. There we go. And that just kind of saturates the color a little bit more, because it was looking a little bit chalky from the white, like I've said before. Okay. And I'm looking at it on the screen, and it looks like everything is building up pretty nicely. That red's pretty visible, which is good. And it's showing up pretty strong on, you know, in real life. So I'm going to take a fine tip brush, and I'm just going to start kind of going in and building the highlights. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of hatching. And yeah, just trying to really communicate how stretched out these wings are. Luckily the white paint makes it less runny, so I don't have to worry about big old droplets building up quickly to the point where they run the risk of running down the page. I actually put a little bit more yellow in this, so I'm just kind of going over to give it a little more color. And then I'll go back through later and add another layer of red just to kind of strengthen that color a little bit more, but overall, yeah. Okay. Alright, let's see. I think I'm going to get started on the skull. Just to kind of give all of this a break up here. And let's see. It's going to involve some kind of playing around with a little bit of white. But I'm going to yellow it because it's, you know, bone. That's kind of age. We'll say it's an older skull. And I'm actually going to mute it with a little bit of purple. And as always, I gotta do my little test swatch. So we're gonna go in here and kind of lay down some bone colors. And because it's mostly a white base, this is going to build up color a lot more down here than this is up here. Right now I'm laying in kind of mid-tones. I already put in the shadows last stream. So now I'm just kind of going over the lighter parts of it. And then I'm going to go back and kind of, there'll be more blending to be done. Okay. And full disclosure, I hate doing teeth. Because there's like a there's kind of this threshold between when it actually has like an appropriate amount of detail and nightmare fuel. So it's a fine tightrope to walk. Okay. Mix up a little bit more of this this bone color. I put a little bit too much violet in, but that's okay. I'll figure this out. I'm gonna add a little bit of turquoise, sort of like the shadow color that I did. Not quite enough. There we go. Much better. Yeah, you'd be surprised how many planes are on your skull. Just all kinds of different surfaces. Whenever I draw skulls in, I try to think of it in angles instead of rounded shapes, just to actually give it a defended shape like it's supposed to have. Okay. And this will actually help because I'm going to go back through and I'll just build the midtones and highlights back. It's a lot easier than trying to get like every little line and detail around teeth. Okay. That's a little bit of the shadow surface sort of in the back of the skull there. Add some dioxazine purple to this in order to give that a nice dark, you know, cavern. And I want to add a little of the purple in to work on my core shadows a little bit. Right. Yeah, and this just kind of just really puts it in its environment and pushes those farther back sort of crevices in the skull way back. So, just gonna go ahead and now go in with the darkest color, like right here along this edge. Okay. And then I'm also going to add it kind of a little bit here. I don't want to neglect the upper jaw too much. It's going to be a little bit right there. And okay. That's a good base. And then, as always, I just kind of build on top of it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to kind of building up my midtones again. There we go. Just kind of mute that a little bit more. Okay. And yeah, it's a little bit more pinky and purpley than you would kind of expect, but that's totally fine. We can blend with it. Once I get into building highlights, you're going to see a lot more kind of yellow and white tones, and it'll actually read as more of an aged bone color, which is, you know, kind of that yellowy off-white tone. So this is totally fine. Okay. There we go. Getting into the nasal cavity a little bit there. Might have to mix up a little bit more of that highlight that we used on the cat and give the skull a little bit of that full moon highlight. Okay. And then this is just kind of getting into, you know, a little bit around the skull sockets, around the eye sockets, you know. They are holes in the skull where, you know, an eyeball's going to set. There's going to be edges right along here. Build up the cheekbone here. I'm gonna have to go through and kind of paint in this tail a little bit better again because it's kind of getting lost. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of go over where the tip of it would be for right now. I'll paint it back in later. Okay, and now we're kind of getting back into sort of the upper jaw and the teeth here. And the biggest thing to remember is that teeth curve around, so you don't want to over highlight the ones kind of going back. It's going to get a little bit of light, but not as much as front teeth here. So, all right. All right, now we're just going to continue lightening it from here. Okay. Let's see. And I'm building up to, this is actually going to be the point that's closest to the viewer. So, and the light's kind of coming from the front, so it's closer to the light source, so it's going to be brighter. And also just kind of, there's a little bit of an incline where that sort of goes in, but not quite as strong as kind of what I'm indicating on here. Oops. Okay. Okay. And it's starting to look a lot more like, you know, a skull. So, get some more of my white ink. And while the this part is drying, I'm going to go ahead and add that backlighting. Okay. And I'm just going to sit here for a second and just kind of let all that dry out. All right. All right. So now I'm going to go back up into his wings. And I'm going to give it another wash of red, just to kind of strengthen that color a little bit more. Because what I'm wanting is for this to be, you know, red is black, but then have that nice bright red, just kind of a pop of color. Gives it kind of a dramatic effect. Okay. Oh, hello everybody. I got 2 people in here. How's everyone doing today? Go here and I'm gonna do some of the highlights now for this skeleton. And yeah, I'm gonna kind of blend this out. I don't want it to be, I mean, it's a smooth surface, so it would reflect more light, but, you know, I don't want it to be like a shiny skull. How cold is it here? Like in Kansas City, I think it was like 60 degrees out. It was actually very nice out today. I actually saw somebody wearing shorts. Let's see, I kind of feel like, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of edge control here. Excuse me. I've had like the hiccups today. Okay. And I'm pretty happy with how the skull is looking right now. Give me just a second. Had to send out a text. I accidentally butt dialed my boyfriend midstream. Okay, so I have the spooky skull, and now I am actually going to go in and add this tail back in because it got a little bit lost in the skull painting. So we'll just add this back in, and then I'll just kind of go through with that edge shadow. Okay, and I really got to go through and clean a bunch of my brushes after this stream because I'm a messy girl. There we go. Okay, so I got the wings done, I got the skull, I got the tail back in, so now I'm going to go back to the eyes. And for the eyes, I'm just going to do a nice bright, I'm thinking, well, let's see. I'm debating on the eyes. I thought a nice bright yellow, which would make sense. And then I had also thought of red, because he's kind of demonic, but I'm going to put the pentagram back on his forehead, so I think that might be a little bit too much red. So, yeah, I think I'll do the yellow eyes. Okay. Another dirty brush. Yeah, I'm horrible about washing my brushes, so... Okay, this is a good one. Alright. So, going back over the eyes. And actually, I'll let it be a little bit of a greenish color, because I already got this blue base on here, so it'll pick that up quite nicely. And I'm not going to worry about the pupil. I'll do that next. I'll just go over the whole thing. It's going to be kind of a yellowy green, and then I'll add some white, and we'll give it a nice luminous look, which I think will echo the moon very nicely. And actually, I am going to take a brief bathroom break, so I will be back here in a few minutes. And I am back. And I'm feeling a little bit not great today, so I might cut the stream a little bit short. But I want to at least make a little bit of leeway with the eyes before I do that. Okay. And we're going to use a little bit of this turquoise mixed with the yellow. This is going to give a nice green. Okay. Now I'm just going to do kind of a nice pale yellowy green. For the cat eyes. Okay, and mix up the right color. Okay. And yeah, I'm trying to keep in mind where the pupils are, but I'm not terribly concerned about it. We can always paint those in back in later. Got so many like just little test swatches that I've done on the side here that I'm actually losing track of where I'm putting my little test swatch if I want to dip back in it. So might be time to clean off my desk. In order to do that, I'm gonna have to get a little bit of nail polish remover. Just kind of let it eat away at the paint. It pretty much behaves the same way. Oh, maybe I'll even do my nails while I'm at it. Might as well, you know, look all pretty. Oh. Hello, sir. Be no cutting down stream, suck it up. Hey, be nice. If I remember correctly, you cut a stream short here pretty recently too. No need to get nasty now. Nasty is my middle name. It's really not. It's Marie, but you know. Okay. I'm going to add me some pupils. This is where I'm going to add them back in. At least it's not Abner. That is true. It just wouldn't really flow too well, you know. Erica Abner Batten. Blech. Okay. Okay. Like I said, I am going to be cutting it a little bit short tonight, but I'm going to at least finish these eyes up. If I can at least get that much done, I'll feel good about it. There we go. So yeah, there's the pupils added back in. And I am going to go in and add a little bit dimension around it before I add the highlights on the eyes. Okay. And I am one Amazon purchase away from having all my Christmas shopping done. How did we ever live without internet shopping? Right? Like, oh man. Yeah, like I hate going shopping out in stores during holiday season because it's just such a mess. So, yeah, that definitely makes it way easier. Makes for a heck of a time for warehouse workers, I can tell you that much. Speaking from experience, not in Amazon, thankfully, but wasn't it? I was at Hallmark once upon a time. This was, yeah, a few years ago at this point. I also was at Guitar Center, which gets, yeah, Hallmark, I mean, everything for the holidays with it, as far as like shipping out seasonal stuff, that's always a couple months before. So once everything post Black Friday kind of rolled around, it actually wasn't that bad at Hallmark. Um, I mean, we'd be kind of, shipping out Valentine cards around then, but like there was no big holiday rush. With Guitar Center, I did we shipped directly because Hallmark, we actually ship to stores. With Guitar Center, it's all e-commerce and direct to consumer. So Black Friday and Cyber Monday were very busy doing all that, and I do not miss it. Yeah, Guitar Center had some really awesome people, but I did not enjoy peak season. Oh man, I used to live at that place. I especially loved the warehouse for the Blim stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I remember I started there as a temp in 2007. That was just a temp job. I got hired on from 2012 to 2015, and then I went back um, 2019 and 2020. So, uh, yeah. And I left. I got kind of spooked by COVID. So, and kind of just prefer, working on my own. It gave me the opportunity to do that. I guess sort of before the whole, like, great resignation, really kind of uh, kicked into gear. But I mean, it gave me motivation to do stuff like this. So I'm definitely happy with what I'm doing. It got a lot of your money. Yeah, it gets a lot of people's money. I will say that if you are a musician working at their warehouse, you get a great discount. But I mean, it didn't really do me any good because I am not a musician. But yeah, yeah, I've known plenty of people who have spent a pretty penny at Guitar Center. Okay, I'm getting these. is highlighted. And yeah, I am going to go ahead and call it short. My uterus hates me today. And I kind of want to just go lay down and veg out. And snuggle with my cat, which looks an awful lot like this guy, just without the extra eyes or the wings. So, thank you very much for tuning in, and sorry for the short stream. I guess it's only about a half hour short, but still. And I will be on Sunday at 6 p.m. So go ahead and check me out then. And thank you very much. Love y'all. Bye.